Chosen one. The glow-up is undeniable now. People are magnetized by your energy and can't explain why. Your gifts are shining through no matter how hard you've tried to dim them. And the universe is orchestrating abundance that matches your elevated frequency because your time of hiding is officially over. The rare power you've carried since childhood is demanding recognition, drawing desire from every direction, and aligning circumstances for the breakthrough you've been destined for all along. The gaslighting began early because those around you recognized your power before you did, and it terrified them. When you accurately predicted family drama, when you sensed deception in trusted adults, when you manifested outcomes through pure intention, they scrambled to convince you it was coincidence. The alternative, accepting that a child possessed gifts they couldn't understand or control, threatened their entire worldview. So they built a cage of doubt around your abilities, convincing you that your greatest strengths were actually flaws that needed to be suppressed. Suppressing your gifts only made them stronger. Every time they told you to stop being so sensitive, your intuition sharpened. Every time they dismissed your visions as daydreams, your ability to see beyond the veil intensified. Every time they made you question your own reality, you developed an unshakable inner knowing that would serve you in ways they could never imagine. What they intended as limitation became the very foundation of your power. Now, as you stand at this threshold of awakening, three powerful forces are converging in your life simultaneously. The first is your manifestation abilities, which have been operating beneath your conscious awareness for years. While others struggle to attract small changes, your thoughts and emotions reshape reality with an intensity that can be overwhelming. The second force is the magnetic shift in your energy signature that's drawing both opportunities and opposition toward you with unprecedented speed. The third force is the cosmic timing that's aligning to launch you into a visibility you can no longer avoid or postpone. These three currents are about to collide in ways that will fundamentally alter not just your circumstances but your understanding of who you've always been. The manifestation abilities you possess operate on a level that defies conventional understanding. You've learned to dim this gift because the responsibility feels enormous, but the universe is calling you to embrace it fully now. The time for hiding behind false humility and playing small has expired. Your energy signature has reached a frequency that demands recognition, and those around you are beginning to respond whether they understand what's happening or not. This is why people feel magnetically drawn to your presence, even when they can't articulate why. Your aura carries a transformative quality that awakens dormant possibilities in others, triggering their own suppressed gifts and forgotten dreams. Some embrace this awakening and become allies in your journey. Others react with jealousy, fear, or attempts to drain your energy because they sense what you represent, but lack the courage to pursue their own evolution. Learning to distinguish between these two types of people will determine whether your path forward is smooth or fraught with unnecessary obstacles. The spiritual warfare you've been experiencing isn't random misfortune, it's a systematic attempt to keep you distracted from your true purpose. Every toxic relationship that drained your energy, every financial struggle that kept you focused on survival, every period of isolation that made you question your worth has been orchestrated by forces that understand your potential better than you do. They know that once you fully step into your power, you'll trigger a ripple effect that transforms everyone you encounter. This is why your journey has included so many trials that seem designed to break you. They weren't trying to destroy you, they were trying to prevent you from discovering the indestructible core of your being. But something fundamental has shifted in recent months, and this shift is accelerating beyond what your logical mind can process. The hermit period you've endured, whether through forced isolation, financial hardship, or the dissolution of relationships, has been a divinely orchestrated initiation. During these months of solitude, away from the voices that convinced you to doubt yourself, you've begun to remember who you really are. The gifts you thought were gone were simply hibernating, waiting for you to develop the emotional and spiritual armor necessary to wield them responsibly. Your energy is transforming so rapidly now that others can see it manifesting in your physical appearance. The glow everyone keeps commenting on isn't just self-care or a new skincare routine, it's the external reflection of internal awakening. Your cellular structure is literally changing as you align with higher frequencies, and this transformation is visible to anyone with eyes to see. Former lovers who dismissed you are suddenly reaching out with desperate attempts to reconnect. New admirers are appearing in your life with an intensity that might feel overwhelming. People who once treated you as ordinary are now recognizing that you were never ordinary at all. This recognition brings both opportunities and dangers that you must navigate with unprecedented wisdom. There are individuals who will attempt to attach themselves to your rising energy, hoping to siphon some of your power for their own benefit. They'll present themselves as supporters while secretly working to keep you dependent on their validation. Others will try to compete with you, positioning themselves as equals when they haven't done the inner work necessary to maintain your frequency. The ability to discern between genuine connections and energy parasites has become crucial to your continued evolution. But here's where the first major revelation becomes undeniable. The financial struggles you endured weren't punishments or signs of spiritual failure. They were strategic withdrawals of material comfort, designed to force you into the hermit space where your true gifts could fully activate. Every month you couldn't afford the lifestyle you wanted, every opportunity that seemed to slip through your fingers, every moment you felt forgotten by prosperity was actually protection in disguise. You needed to learn who you were when stripped of external validation and material buffers. The second revelation building momentum in your experience involves the relationship dynamics that are shifting dramatically as your energy continues to evolve. People from your past, who once held power over you through manipulation or emotional control, are finding that their tactics no longer work. The version of you that accepted breadcrumbs of affection or tolerated disrespect has been permanently replaced by someone who knows their worth and refuses to compromise it. This transformation is creating panic among those who benefited from your previous willingness to sacrifice yourself for others' comfort. Every person who wounded you, every betrayal that broke your heart, every abandonment that left you questioning your worth was actually an essential component of your preparation. The pain they caused became the catalyst for developing discernment, so acute that you can now read people's true intentions within moments of meeting them. The emotional resilience you built through surviving their treatment has made you unbreakable in ways that will serve your mission. Meanwhile, new connections are forming with individuals who match your elevated frequency. These aren't the surface-level interactions you've grown accustomed to, but soul-deep recognitions between people who understand the weight of carrying gifts in a world that often punishes those who dare to be different. These connections will provide the support system necessary for the next phase of your journey, where hiding your abilities is no longer an option. The third revelation reaching critical mass involves the spotlight that's beginning to illuminate your path. This isn't something you can avoid or postpone indefinitely. Your gifts were never meant to be kept private. They're tools for collective transformation that must be shared with others who are ready to awaken. This doesn't necessarily mean becoming a public figure in the traditional sense, but it does mean accepting that your influence extends far beyond your immediate circle. Every person you touch with your authentic energy becomes a catalyst for change in their own sphere of influence. Some of you are being called to platforms where your voice can reach thousands or millions of people simultaneously. Others will impact the world through more intimate settings, healing sessions, mentorship relationships, or creative works that carry transformative frequencies. The specific format matters less than your willingness to step fully into visibility and allow your light to shine without apology or explanation. The responsibility of this calling can feel overwhelming, especially when you consider how many people will be affected by your choices. But remember that you weren't selected for this role randomly. Your spirit volunteered for this mission before incarnating, knowing full well the challenges it would entail. Every difficulty you've overcome has prepared you for this moment when stepping into your power becomes not just an option, but a sacred duty. As these three major revelations converge, you're beginning to understand that your entire life has been orchestrated to bring you to this precise moment of awakening. The childhood experiences that made you feel different weren't accidents, they were early activations of abilities that would serve you now. The relationships that wounded you weren't random encounters, they were training grounds for developing the emotional intelligence and protective boundaries you'd need as your influence expanded. The financial struggles that humbled you weren't evidence of unworthiness, they were spiritual boot camp designed to teach you that your value exists independent of material circumstances. Past connections are resurfacing now with a mixture of regret and recognition that validates everything you intuited about them years ago. People who dismissed your insights are watching those predictions come true with startling accuracy. Former partners who took your devotion for granted are realizing they lost something irreplaceable when they chose ego over love. Friends who competed with you instead of celebrating your success are witnessing your transformation with a combination of awe and envy that reveals their true character. Some of these individuals will approach you with genuine apologies and requests for forgiveness. Others will attempt to minimize their past behavior or rewrite history to make themselves appear more supportive than they actually were. Your evolved discernment allows you to see through these attempts at manipulation while maintaining enough compassion to wish them well on their own journey, even if that journey no longer includes you. The magnetism you're experiencing extends beyond romantic attraction, though that's certainly intensifying, to encompass every area of your life. Opportunities are presenting themselves with unprecedented frequency. Synchronicities are occurring so regularly that skeptics in your circle are beginning to question their materialist worldview. Resources, connections, and circumstances are aligning in ways that feel almost magical because they are. This isn't luck or coincidence, it's the natural result of your energy field finally operating at its intended frequency. When you align with your authentic power, the universe reorganizes itself to support your highest expression. Obstacles that seemed insurmountable begin dissolving. Doors that were previously locked swing open effortlessly. People who can assist your mission appear exactly when you need them most. But with this acceleration comes the need for enhanced boundaries and energy management that goes far beyond anything you've previously understood. Your sensitivity to others' emotions and intentions has amplified along with your other gifts, making it crucial to develop practices that keep your energy field clear and protected. The old version of you might have absorbed everyone's problems and tried to fix them single-handedly. The awakened version understands that taking on others' karma actually prevents them from learning the lessons they need for their own growth. The creative gifts that are emerging or intensifying during this period aren't separate from your spiritual abilities. They're expressions of the same source energy, channeled through different outlets. Whether manifesting as artistic talent, business acumen, healing capabilities, or visionary insight, these gifts share a common thread of bringing something new into existence that elevates collective consciousness. Trust the impulses that arise to share these gifts with the world, even if the timing feels premature or the format unclear. The universe is orchestrating opportunities for you to contribute your unique frequency to the global awakening that's currently underway. Your particular combination of experiences, insights, and abilities creates a signature that no one else can replicate. As your influence expands, you'll encounter resistance from systems and individuals who profit from keeping others small and disempowered. This opposition isn't personal, it's a predictable response to any force that threatens the status quo. Instead of taking these challenges as signs that you're on the wrong path, recognize them as confirmation that you're creating exactly the kind of disruption this world needs. The protection that surrounds you during this vulnerable period of rapid growth is real and tangible, though it may not always feel that way when you're in the midst of conflict or uncertainty. Every attack on your character, every attempt to undermine your confidence, every effort to make you question your sanity is ultimately futile because your power doesn't depend on others' recognition or approval. It springs from a source they cannot touch or contaminate. The loneliness you've experienced during your awakening process is beginning to transform into selectivity that feels empowering rather than isolating. Instead of feeling isolated because you can't connect with just anyone, you're starting to appreciate the quality of connections possible with others who share your frequency. These soul-level relationships are worth the wait and the discrimination required to find them. Your standards for every area of life are rising automatically as your sense of self-worth stabilizes at higher levels. What you once tolerated now feels intolerable. What you once considered impossible now seems inevitable. What you once approached with desperation, you now handle with calm confidence. This shift in baseline expectations will continue attracting experiences that match your elevated energy. The material manifestations that are beginning to appear in your life, improved health, financial increase, better living situations, enhanced relationships, are external confirmations of internal transformation. But they're also tools being provided to support the work you came here to do. The universe invests resources in those who can be trusted to use them for purposes beyond personal gratification. As your mission becomes clearer and your platform expands, remember that authenticity remains your greatest asset. The temptation to present a polished version of yourself that might be more palatable to mainstream audiences will arise repeatedly. Resist this urge. Your power lies precisely in your willingness to be real about the struggles, the shadows, and the imperfections that make your journey relatable to others who are following similar paths. The prophecies and predictions that flow through you with increasing frequency aren't meant to position you as superior to others, but to serve as waypoints for collective navigation through the turbulent times ahead. Your ability to see potential timelines and probable outcomes is a gift for the entire community, not a source of personal ego inflation. Within the next phase of your evolution, you'll begin recognizing others like yourself, fellow chosen ones, who carry similar missions but express them through different modalities. These connections will form the backbone of networks that support global transformation on scales previously unimaginable. The isolation you've endured was preparation for the profound connections that await. Now comes the climactic moment where all three forces converge into a single point of transformation that will define the rest of your existence. Your manifestation abilities, which have been building power behind the scenes, are about to burst into conscious awareness with an intensity that will shock you. The magnetic shift in your energy that's been drawing both opportunities and challenges is reaching the point where neutrality becomes impossible. You will either step fully into your power or retreat into smaller versions of yourself. The cosmic timing that's been aligning circumstances for your emergence has reached the moment where the universe will no longer accept excuses or delays. This convergence means that every relationship in your life will either evolve to meet your new frequency or dissolve to make space for connections that can support your mission. Every financial circumstance will either align with abundance or reveal itself as an outdated limitation that must be transcended. Every creative impulse will either find expression through your authentic voice or become a source of internal pressure that demands release. The resolution begins with accepting that the person you were before this awakening was never meant to be permanent. That version of yourself served a crucial purpose, learning to navigate the world while carrying gifts that most people couldn't understand. But that role has ended, and trying to maintain it now would be like attempting to fit into clothes from childhood. The fabric of your existence has expanded beyond those old boundaries. Your manifestation abilities are no longer random or unconscious. You can now direct them with precision toward outcomes that serve not just your personal evolution, but the collective transformation you came here to support. The relationships that survive your awakening become sacred partnerships that amplify your mission rather than drain your energy. The financial abundance flowing toward you stabilizes into sustainable prosperity that funds your purpose rather than feeding ego. The recognition you've been craving from others finally arrives, but by then you realize it was never what you actually needed. The external validation that once seemed so important becomes secondary to the unshakable knowing of your own worth. People notice your transformation because it's impossible to ignore, but their acknowledgement confirms rather than creates your value. Past connections that resurface during this period serve as measuring sticks for how far you've traveled. Their attempts to pull you back into old dynamics fail because you can no longer vibrate at those lower frequencies. Some express genuine remorse for not recognizing your gifts earlier. Others maintain their denial, even as evidence of your transformation becomes undeniable. Both responses serve your growth by clarifying which relationships deserve your continued investment. Look, you already know the game is rigged. And if you're paying attention, you know the walls are closing in. So let's talk about what we're doing about it. When you live by the day at the market's command, where profit and property rule the land, to be heard, to be held, to be dealt a fair hand. These are the things that a people demand, and we hear you. The Obsidian Inner Order has paywalls, yes. Those who stand with us, who fuel this mission, they give us ammunition to fight the Archons, to push back against the machine, to go deeper, to uncover more. And as our thank you, paid members get access to a 1-hour live, personalized weekly group tarot reading guidance, insight and clarity for the road ahead. But kicking a man for being down on the floor? That's something we cannot ignore. That's why starting today, you can steal the Astral Atom exclusive daily newsletter for free. No paywall, no catch. Just join the Patreon free tier, link in the description. This is the start of our conversation with you, and it's bi-directional. You can reply to any email we send you. We'll read it, we'll hear you, and we'll do our best to get an answer to you from the universe itself. If you can support, we need you. If you can't, take what's free. The Obsidian Inner Order is open. Now let's get back to work. The creative expressions that emerge during this period carry such authentic power that they attract exactly the right audience without marketing or manipulation. Your voice, your art, your healing presence, or your visionary insights find their natural recipients through frequencies rather than algorithms. The platform you've been preparing for reveals itself as perfectly suited to your unique gifts. The protection that surrounded your journey becomes visible in retrospect. Every seeming setback preserved you from paths that would have stunted your growth. Every delay positioned you for opportunities that required your full development to navigate successfully. Every loss cleared space for gains that exceeded what you thought possible. As this transformation completes itself, you understand that everything that confused, frustrated, or wounded you was actually perfect preparation for this moment. The sensitivity they tried to shame became your superpower. The visions they dismissed became your guidance system. Knowing they attempted to gaslight became your compass. The people who notice your rareness now were always there, waiting for you to recognize it first. Their acknowledgement doesn't create your value, it reflects the truth you've finally accepted about yourself. The gifts you've carried like secrets are ready to be shared openly. The platform you've been unconsciously preparing for is ready to receive you. The people who need what you offer are actively seeking someone exactly like you. The better times that were promised aren't just coming, they've arrived in the form of your awakened recognition of who you've always been. The abundance, the love, the purpose, the recognition were never missing. They were waiting for you to develop the capacity to receive them without losing yourself in the process. The emergence you're experiencing extends beyond personal transformation into collective impact that reverberates through dimensions most people cannot perceive. Your awakening isn't happening in isolation, it's part of a larger wave of consciousness activation that's sweeping across the planet. You've been selected as an anchor point for this energy, someone whose transformation serves as a beacon for others who are ready to remember their own forgotten abilities. The timing of your awakening correlates with global shifts that require precisely the kind of disruption your authentic presence creates. While others remain trapped in cycles of distraction and limitation, you're being called to model what expanded consciousness looks like when it's fully integrated into daily existence. This isn't about perfection or becoming superhuman. It's about demonstrating that gifts previously considered impossible or fictional are actually natural human capacities that have been systematically suppressed. Your ability to shapeshift energetically, to match different frequencies depending on what situations require, has been developing throughout your entire lifetime. In childhood, you unconsciously adapted your energy to survive environments that couldn't handle your full intensity. As a teenager, you learned to modulate your gifts to avoid further rejection or isolation. In early adulthood, you practiced dimming your light to make others comfortable around you. Now, this shape-shifting ability becomes a conscious tool for maximum impact. Whether you're entering corporate boardrooms, healing circles, creative collaborations, or intimate partnerships, your capacity to attune to whatever frequency serves the highest good while maintaining your authentic core becomes invaluable. This isn't manipulation or people-pleasing, it's mastery of energy dynamics that allows you to be effective across multiple contexts without compromising your integrity. The hermit period that preceded this emergence wasn't just about developing personal strength, it was about building energetic capacity to handle the intensity of your expanding influence. During those months of solitude, your nervous system upgraded itself to process higher frequencies without burning out. Your emotional body learned to maintain stability while feeling everything more deeply. Your mental body developed discrimination sophisticated enough to navigate complex spiritual and material realities simultaneously. This preparation becomes crucial as your visibility increases and more people begin drawing upon your energy field for inspiration, healing, or guidance. Without the foundation built during isolation, the attention you're receiving could become overwhelming or depleting. Instead, you find yourself able to give generously without losing yourself in the process. The sexual and romantic magnetism intensifying around you isn't random attraction, it's recognition of your life force energy operating at optimal levels. When someone fully inhabits their authentic power, they become irresistible not just as romantic partners, but as collaborators, friends, and mentors. This magnetism attracts both genuine connections and those who mistake intensity for compatibility. The key lies in trusting your immediate visceral responses to people rather than getting caught up in mental analysis of their potential. Your body knows within moments whether someone enhances or depletes your energy. Your intuition immediately recognizes whether their interest stems from authentic resonance or unconscious need. Your gifts allow you to see through surface presentations to the truth of their intentions. This discernment becomes especially important as invitations multiply across all areas of your life. Business opportunities that seem lucrative on the surface may actually be traps designed to drain your creativity or bind you to limiting contracts. Social circles that appear prestigious might be gatherings of energy vampires who feed off authentic people. Even spiritual communities can harbor competitive dynamics that would diminish rather than support your growth. Your evolution includes developing the confidence to decline opportunities that don't align with your highest path, even when they seem objectively beneficial. This requires trusting your inner knowing over external opinions and being willing to disappoint people who have different agendas for your life. The creative projects emerging through you during this period carry frequencies that can literally reprogram consciousness in those who encounter them. Whether expressed through art, writing, healing modalities, business innovations, or technological developments, your creations serve as activation codes for others who are ready to awaken their own gifts. Some of your creations will reach massive audiences and spark widespread transformation. Others will impact only a few people, but create profound shifts in their lives that ripple outward in ways you may never fully comprehend. Both scenarios serve the greater mission of consciousness elevation that you've incarnated to support. The financial abundance manifesting in your experience reflects the universe's investment in your mission rather than reward for past suffering. This distinction becomes important as prosperity increases because understanding money as spiritual currency rather than personal achievement keeps you aligned with its intended purpose. Resources flowing toward you are meant to be circulated in ways that amplify positive impact rather than accumulated for security or status. This doesn't mean giving everything away or living in artificial poverty, but it does mean maintaining awareness that abundance serves transformation rather than ego gratification. Your relationship with money becomes a model for others who have been taught that spirituality and prosperity are incompatible. By demonstrating healthy abundance that supports rather than corrupts mission, you help dissolve collective programming around money being inherently corrupting or spiritual people needing to struggle financially. The protection surrounding your journey operates through mechanisms that become more visible as your sensitivity increases. Sometimes protection appears as circumstances preventing you from making decisions that would have derailed your path. Other times it manifests as people revealing their true nature before you become too invested in relationships with them. This protection extends to your energy field, which becomes increasingly impermeable to manipulation or psychic attack as your gifts stabilize. The spiritual armor developed through surviving various forms of opposition now serves as a natural barrier against anything that would compromise your mission or well-being. Understanding this protection allows you to move through the world with greater confidence and less defensiveness. When you know that anything not aligned with your highest good will naturally be repelled by your energy field, you can engage more openly without fear of being harmed or depleted. The visions and prophetic insights, increasing in frequency and accuracy, serve multiple purposes beyond personal guidance. Your ability to perceive potential timelines helps you make decisions that optimize outcomes, not just for yourself, but for everyone affected by your choices. Your capacity to sense energy patterns allows you to identify opportunities and threats before they fully manifest in physical reality. These gifts also position you to serve as an early warning system for communities or causes you're connected to. Your intuitive hits about people, situations, or trends often prove accurate in ways that benefit many beyond yourself. Learning to share these insights responsibly, when they're needed, and with people who can act on them becomes part of your service. The loneliness that characterized your hermit period transforms into profound appreciation for quality over quantity in all relationships. Rather than feeling isolated by your uniqueness, you begin recognizing it as the very thing that makes you valuable to the right people. The connections forming now are based on recognition rather than need, celebration rather than competition. These soul-level relationships provide emotional and spiritual nourishment that you didn't know was possible during your years of surface-level interactions. Conversations dive immediately into meaningful territory. Collaborations flow with unprecedented ease. Even casual encounters carry depth and significance that remind you why isolation was necessary to prepare you for these connections. Your standards continue rising not from judgment or superiority, but from clarity about what you require to maintain your frequency and fulfill your purpose. What once seemed like impossibly high expectations now feel like basic requirements for anyone who wants ongoing access to your energy and attention. The child who was told their gifts weren't real has become the adult who transforms reality through those very same abilities. The isolation that once felt like punishment is revealed as the incubation period necessary for this emergence. The struggles that seemed random were actually curriculum designed to prepare you for responsibilities you couldn't have imagined. The mission you're here to fulfill may still be revealing itself in layers, but the foundation is clear. You're here to model what authentic empowerment looks like when it's grounded in service rather than ego. Your example gives others permission to reclaim their own gifts and step into their own power. Your presence reminds people of possibilities they had forgotten or been taught to dismiss. Step forward, chosen one. Your moment has arrived, and the world is waiting for what only you can give. The rare and precious gifts you carry aren't accidents or burdens. They're precisely what this moment in history requires. Trust them, share them, and watch as reality reshapes itself around your authentic expression. Welcome to your awakening. Welcome to your power. Welcome home to yourself.